companies often start out really amazing because they're based off of the values of the founder, but then they're sold, and a lot of times those values get sold with them.
So you're telling me that capitalistic greed often leads to the decline and ultimately sometimes the demise of companies entirely? If you're ever wondering what's going on with a company, the quickest way to find out is to look behind the curtain at like an executive level and see if there's some sort of shift in leadership happening, because that will give you a very quick answer to your questions. I know I've talked about these both individually before, but there are two active examples of this happening in front of our eyes, of companies that are publicly going up in flames right now. Now, this creator's correct. Hinge is an amazing example of this, and I know I've gone in depth about it before. But yes, it was founded by a man who believed in love and finding people real love. And the original tagline and like selling point for Hinge was that it was for finding serious relationships. And Hinge originally was a really good app. And the original mission of Hinge was so focused on finding real love that there even was a report button for people who were like just messing around and not serious on there, which is what made them stand out from Tinder. It set them apart from the bunch. And I think that's what made it so successful. Back in the day, I actually found one of my better relationships off of it. Back around 2019, it was ultimately sold to the Match Group, which if you're not familiar with them, they have almost a monopoly on the dating app market. They own Tinder, Hinge, Match.com, OkCupid, pretty much all the big ones. The only one I know that they don't own is Bumble. The first thing they did was make a ton of changes to their algorithm and the way the app works. They started keeping users behind paywalls and making it harder and more expensive to get matches. Because of course it was the founder's mission to find you love. It's the Match Group's mission to just keep making money. And then I noticed they got rid of the feature where you can report people who are just messing around and not looking for anything serious. They removed all advertising of that app being specifically for people looking for actual relationships. And they added the what you're looking for feature, which now invited people who weren't looking for anything serious. So now they're pretty much just like every other app, and there's really no point in downloading that one on top of all the others you have. And people have noticed these changes and they're not happy about it, because it's kind of just become Tinder 2.0. My second active example of this happening in front of our eyes is Chipotle. Now, Chipotle was originally founded by Steve Ells, I believe in the early 90s, and a big thing that was important to them is integrity and locally sourcing food. So obviously it was expensive for them to be making your food because you were getting better quality food and they were giving you a lot of it. Then around 2015 and 16, there was some contaminated food that were making people really sick, which unfortunately happens on occasion, and especially when you're working with so much fresh food that doesn't have preservatives in it. So it's not always being preserved as well as preserved food. But this led to a lot of distrust in the brand. So as a result of this, the founder decided to start looking for a new CEO around 2017. And around this 2016 era, I hadn't seen much of a decline in the food quality yet. They were just struggling to get people to trust them again. But then in 2018, Taco Bell's CEO stepped in as CEO of Chipotle, and that's when I started seeing the brand go down quicker and quicker. And around 2020, the founder left the company entirely. And after that, now we've really started seeing the increasing decline in quality at Chipotle.